Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to set up OpenProject on Ubuntu server. So first, you need to go to the OpenProject documentation website, which is docs.openproject.org, and then click on the link Installation and Operation Guide. Then in the sidebar you will find the installation section, and today we are going to use the package-based installation, so using Debian or RPM packages for our Linux distribution. So clicking on the packages link, we end up on the page where you can select your distribution. Today we are going to use Ubuntu 20.04. And then we can find the instructions on how to set up the package repository and how to install OpenProject. So first we need to provision a server running Ubuntu 20.04. So in this tutorial I will use Amazon Lightsail, which is very easy to use service to quickly launch servers for cheap. So if you have an AWS account, or if you have DigitalOcean or other kind of cloud providers, you can very easily create an instance. In this case we want only the OS, the operating system, so we select Ubuntu 20.04. Most of the time you will have to select an SSH key to be able to connect to your instance, so in that case I select mine. And then we want to select the size of the instance. In our case, we want a 4 GB instance for OpenProject. We'll name it, so OpenProject. And then we are ready to create it. So this will take a few minutes at most. And so we'll be back when this is ready. Okay, so that was pretty quick. We can find the IP for our instance, so we copy this and then we can open a terminal window where we can try to connect to the instance with the Ubuntu user. So we accept this SSH key and then we are logged in. So if we go back to the documentation, now that we have our VM, we can just copy and paste the commands that are displayed. So first we get the key for the repository so that we can verify the signature of the packages. Then we get the package source where the packages are hosted. And then we run apt-get update to refresh our repository. Right. And then we can finally install the OpenProject package. So the package will set up all dependencies that are required before we can launch the configuration wizard. So right now it is unpacking OpenProject version 11.02. And at the end of the package installation, we can see this message which says, okay, the package provides an installer, and so we need to run the configure OpenProject configure command to finish the installation. So this is explained in the documentation section. And so basically what this will do, this command, it will launch an interactive wizard where you can further configure your installation. So that's what we are going to do now. So as you can see, the installation wizard started in the terminal. And the first question that you are asked is which OpenProject edition you want to use. Recently we released the OpenProject BIM edition, which is the project management aimed at the construction industry, whereas the default OpenProject edition is a general project management tool for any kind of projects. So just to give you a quick example of how both looks, we can first see the default edition, so with standard project management, with work packages that you can update the status with, and the assignee, and you have multiple types of packages and many other features like Gantt charts and boards. And the other kind of edition is the BIM edition, which, as I said, is targeted at the construction industry. And in that case, as you can see, it has additional features that allow you to basically list issues in a building or construction, and follow the progress on the resolution of each issue. So depending on your use case, you will have to select either the default edition or the BIM edition. In our case, we'll go with the default edition. So I just hit enter. And then it asks whether we want the wizard to automatically set up a database, because OpenProject runs using a Postgres database to host the data that you save. And so if you have your a dedicated VM or server for OpenProject, then we recommend that you automatically install the Postgres server. Otherwise, if you have an existing PostgreSQL database somewhere and you want to use that, then you would choose to use an existing PostgreSQL database. So for now, we'll just ask the wizard to automatically install a new PostgreSQL server and configure OpenProject accordingly. Then it asks whether we want to install the Apache 2 server, which is required to act as a proxy between users and the OpenProject application. So we'll just say yes. Then it asks for the fully qualified domain name that you want to use for that installation. And in that case, we can have a look at our instance and just set it to the IP address of that instance. Then we can possibly specify a server path prefix, which is basically if you want OpenProject instance to run as yourdomain.com/openproject, then you can enter /openproject in that box. But most often you will want to leave this empty to have OpenProject running directly at the root of your domain. For now, we don't want to enable SSL. There will be a separate screencast on how to set up Let's Encrypt for OpenProject, but for now we'll just go with plain HTTP. Then historically, OpenProject supported SVN and Git repositories integration, but for now we'll just skip this and just use the project management feature by itself. So we also skip the Git repository support. And then we can configure the email settings so that OpenProject can send emails when work packages are updated or created. So there are multiple choices here. You can either skip this, which will make the email configuration not work. Or you can select to use the sendmail daemon. This is not really recommended for production setups because you will most likely end up in the spam folder of your recipients. So what we recommend is that you sign up for SMTP service such as SendGrid or Postmark or many other providers and they will basically give you, most of them for free, credentials to set up your SMTP settings. So we choose SMTP settings, and it asks whether we want to, which kind of authentication we have, and most often you want the login authentication. And then it asks for the SMTP host. So right now I will just use SMTP host that is provided by SendGrid.net. The SMTP port is 587. The username is API key, and the password is this. The SMTP domain, we can leave it like this. And then you are asked to enter your administrator email, so which will be assigned to the main administrator of OpenProject. So I will put mine here. And finally, it asks if you want a memcached server, which is used for caching data so that the loading of pages is faster, and we recommend that you install it. Okay, so now that we answered all the questions of the wizard, the wizard would then do a few more things, like setting up the Postgres if we chose to, and setting up memcached and SMTP settings, etc., etc. So this will take a few minutes at most, and once it's finished we can go back and check the installation tasks. Okay, so now it says we are done. And here we go. We end up on our new OpenProject instance. So we can sign in. So the default username is admin, and the default password is admin as well. And you will be asked to change it as soon as you log in the first time. So as you can see, a new password is required. So the current password was admin, and then I choose a new password with at least 10 characters. I confirm it, and I save. And we are in, so you can select your language, let's say English for me. You have an introduction tour if you want to use this, or you can just skip that tour. And then you are right within your OpenProject instance. You can have a look at your system settings. If you would like to modify some of the settings here, you probably want to test whether your email settings are working. So update this to the real emission email address, and then you can click on send a test email. And it seems like it went fine, so I probably will receive an email with that test. And as you can see, you can also update your SMTP credentials right from the OpenProject UI. Okay, so that concludes the tour on how to set up OpenProject on Ubuntu. I hope you have found it easy to follow, and if you have any questions or if you hit any issues, the best place to find help is first obviously the documentation, and then if you still cannot find why it doesn't work, we have a forum on the community OpenProject instance where you can ask questions regarding the support of installation and update. Thank you, and see you next time.